Hello everyone, my name is Jenny Burak and I'm an astrologer and I channel the energies of Archangel Metatron and the Ascended Masters, the Council. I channel and I do healing work with them as well. And I am going to get a little bit into some personal stuff. If you're here for astrology, you might want to fast forward to that. I also want to thank everyone who likes and subscribes and shares my videos. And I love connecting with all of you on Facebook. And here, I really like to hear what you have to say in relation to what I'm saying. I remember, years ago when I would just be like, please God, let Amanda Ellis make a video today, because I needed to hear it. And so I hope that I'm doing that for some of you and helping you guys. I really do. And I love to find out that, this synchronicity happened and this synchronicity happened because you were tuned into the video. So anyway, I want to talk about the Sisterhood of the Emerald Fire meetings. I need to thank Melinda, who sent me this for Christmas. It's so in relation to the work that we do with the higher vibrational beings for the planet. It's so beautiful and perfect. And Melinda, I very much appreciate it. It really, I was thrilled with it. I show it to everyone that walks in my door. And I'd like to be able to use it for a logo. So if you could let me know who to credit for that, or if I need to talk to somebody, you could just send me an email and let me know. But that was very thoughtful of you and perfect, of course. I love it so much. And that meeting, again, will be January 6th at 11 o'clock Central Standard Time. And the link is in the description box below, as well as my email, Vimeo, if you would like to order, download any of the videos that we've done so far doing that work. It's never too late. Time is not happening in a linear fashion, so you can always throw your energy in there, and it made it. Whatever time zone you're in. I know I had people from Australia and in Europe, different times when I do it, I can't get everybody's time zone right. So I think we'll just switch it up. Sometimes I'll try to do it on weeknights. Weeknights, I didn't have that many people, but that's understandable. It was 9 o'clock on the East Coast, and it was 6 o'clock on the on Pacific time. So anyway, we'll figure it out. But whoever shows up and whenever you watch the video and you contribute with your energy, you're doing the work. And so I really appreciate everybody who's joining me in doing that. It's nice to be able to know that we're doing something that's making a difference, because we've seen things play out then after we had those meetings. So it's really exciting. So I want to talk about stuff that's been happening with me, because it's important and it's related to what's coming in the new year. I almost felt like I should apologize, but obviously information comes when it's meant to come. I've been keeping myself small. I did not realize, and it was not my intention to do so. I've been holding back a lot of the knowledge that I have because I didn't want to step on any toes. And I was kind of hiding behind somebody and picking up things that were not my responsibility and putting that on myself. And so this goes to the new moon that we're going to talk about that's coming. When there's a new moon, it's answered then the following year with the full moon. So when the full moon came in Gemini, it was answering the new moon that had come in May of 2017, when I went through a very dramatic, my higher self is reminding me, healing. I thought at the time healing crisis. But come to find out, it was actually happening. It wasn't a figment of my imagination. It was terrifying. And I found out over the week of Christmas. I found out a lot of things over that week, but I had actually been taking that on to spare a family member that journey that family member chose to be on. And it was not my business to interfere in that way. I felt responsible because of the relationship that I have with this family member. And also because I'm on the Soul Family Council, I realized that I had okayed that to happen. And then I felt like I needed to clean up my own mess, which it wasn't my mess. And it was really, also went along with me just staying small. And the more we keep piling on ourselves, and, when we have children and all of you watching, I don't like to put labels on them as crystals or indigos, but they come in with a higher vibration than we have. or that we started with, and when we incarnated in this lifetime. Oh, a lot of smoke coming in on that. But you know, they've given themselves challenges because that's what they want to do, and they're strong enough to handle it. And some of you, like me, have actually taken on sickness to try to get that healed and cleaned up, so to spare them that journey, and that's their journey. And no matter what we take on, they're still going to have their journey. So yeah, I had a lot of things going on in relation to that. And I was, you know, I think you could tell in the last video I made. I certainly could tell when I watched it. My energy was like, oh, not happy. So I was so, you know, Metatron always brings me hawks when I walk in the woods. And if I haven't seen a hawk while I'm out in the woods, when I'm driving home, I'm like, where's the hawk? I'll see a hawk in 30 seconds. And so I was thinking to myself a couple of weeks ago in the woods, like, oh yeah, the hawks are gone now because we don't see them that much this time of year. It's really unusual to see them this time of year. I was so low, like December 23rd, I was walking into Target, which is not where you want to be on December 23rd. Didn't even realize until the week before Christmas that it was on Tuesday. I thought it was Wednesday because I was so busy with session work and then working with them on my own. So I'm walking into Target to get last minute things. And as I get out of my car, which was like 6 miles from the door, a hawk, it was so close to me that I thought, that can't be a hawk. It was literally like maybe at a little bit higher than my head. I mean, it was right there, and it was one car length. And as I was thinking to myself, that can't be a hawk, a man who was also like a half mile past me, I saw him like, you know, staring at the hawk because, and then I realized like, wow, that really is a hawk. And then it lighted and it went, you know, it soared really, really high. Metatron reminded me to take the higher perspective as he always does. And I realized, like, just as he said, everything's playing out exactly as it's meant to play out. I had to go through Christmas Day to find out some of the revelations that I needed to know. Played out in not such a happy way on Christmas Day, but that's okay. But you know what? When it was all said and done, I got there. I got to, that's it. And I mean, I can't really go into it too much because until you go through it yourself, and you will. And Metatron said, as I was doing a channeling for someone else, that I like intense and extreme. And so that's what I got. You don't have to do that. Like I did. That's just, you know, I think that what happened was, as I realized it, and it all came to me, and I was just, oh my gosh, like, I can't believe that, you know, and I'm processing, and they're all sitting around smiling at me. And I said to them, like, this is what always happens. This is always what happens. And they were like, mm-hmm. And then I said right away, sign me up. I'm doing it again. Like, when we're stuck in this struggle and the suffering, and we're like, oh, it's too much. I don't know how many times I've said it's too much and complained that I'm millions of years old and I'm tired and I don't want to do this anymore. But as soon as I got there, I was like, oh yeah, I'm doing this again. This was easy. I could do this. It's no problem. So also something that I said that was not quite, because when this stuff started to unfold and I started playing out that, you know, being sick again, I was getting misinformation, and it was my, what do you call it? Yeah, my discernment checkup is what they called it, to make sure that I was filtering, that I was like not just believing whatever was told to me. And a lot of it was like, what? Oh, that doesn't seem right. So one of the things that I had said was that the higher self can sometimes not be in alignment with pure unconditional love. It's true that there can be egoism with the higher self, but mostly it's a case where people think that they're talking to the pure unconditional love version of their higher self, and maybe they're not getting that version of themselves. It's probably an aspect of ego that they're talking to. When you're reading cards, I don't care who, you know, you're reading for yourself, anybody, take your thumb and your forefinger and start like you're zipping a jacket about your root chakra, and zip yourself up. okay? Because your energy is affecting the readings. Also, when you speak to the angels or the ascended masters or your higher self, it's important to surrender lower ego so that you can get the truth. I, like a lot of you, went through this with my twin flame stuff, and I'm going to talk about that now because really 2018 was just like so much heartbreak. I started a few years ago going into timelines and saw myself with my twin flame, and thought then that after that story played out in another timeline and we weren't going to come together on the earth, I believed that we were not going to come together on the earth. I believed that the person is someone who exists on the planet right now. And then I went through a series of other relationships that didn't work out. And in September, I said to Metatron, I don't know why I signed up for this crazy ride, but I'm off of it now. I'm done. I just can't do it anymore. Maybe that was October. But at any rate, I had said, and I just gave up the whole thing. I thought, like, I don't care. Like, if something happens, let me know. I'm just done. I can't take the heartbreak anymore. It's like I had I missed out on the romance and the thrill of like dating and, having sex, let's say. And then I would just have the heartbreak. And I couldn't take it anymore because I needed to come to the point where I finally said, this isn't my priority anymore. I don't want to be a part of it. I just let it go. And then lo and behold, I found out, I don't even know when it was. Oh, okay. It was like Christmas Eve. I found out, and I was told Christmas years ago, and every Christmas I've waited and for something to happen, and it finally happened on Christmas Eve. My twin flame is here. And I have really good news for the rest of you. You cannot be created as an energy without a twin flame. And when that teaching started that not everyone was a twin flame, it originally came from ego. Now it's just sort of like everyone accepts that that's true, and it's not true. It's just a fact. And if you ask to be shown this, it will be shown to you. You could ask for a sign that it's true. You could ask for numbers or an animal or a color, like however you communicate with the higher vibrational energies of pure unconditional love to bring you signs, then they'll present that for you. When the energy comes to be, okay, when we come to be, and it's not even, you can't even say that it's an instant. It's like as soon as that's together, it's pulled into two spheres, okay? There can't be anything created that doesn't have that. It just isn't possible. So all of you are happy to know now that you have a twin flame. That you are a twin flame, can't not be a twin flame. And that you have a twin flame most on the planet, okay? All of that stuff about he's not here or she's with her husband or he's with his wife, those are people that you're hanging on to that are versions of that same energy. And so they feel very familiar and you're sure that it's them, but those are not who you're connecting with in your heart space or you're speaking to telepathically. Now, this is true of the majority, vast majority, is what they're saying. I say this to people in healing sessions when I'm told to say that and they don't accept it a lot of the time. You will come to accept it when you're ready. But if you're holding on to someone, you don't want to do that because you're blocking who the person actually is. Of course, that's going to happen in divine timing and everything is going to unfold exactly as it's meant to for you, just like it did for me. But this 3-year that we're going into, it's like the pyramid with the base made up of, the corners are one us as a twin flame, our twin flame energy, and then connecting into spirit. So I was able to then on Christmas Eve, and I'm not sure that this was playing out for him at that time or if it was just for me, that we had a conversation. And so it was really exciting. And I'm really happy because the energy that I've been crying about all year is him. And those things happened in other timelines. And it was just, it's for my book. So, and my book will go into that. I'm channeling that with Zadkiel. And it'll go into that. It's a love story, but it's also going to talk about, how timelines work and just the concept of time. And so we're still in that energy. And I've already made this video, forgot to hit record. So I'm trying to remember. It's when I do that, and I've only done it once before, then I end up not saying things that I want to make sure I include. So I just really encourage you, you know, like from a place of ego, I want to just take people by the shoulders and say, listen to me. But really, you know, go within yourself and think back. Did you ever actually hear anyone else, an angel, or, you know, who you talked to that you know isn't just reading what you already think, because that's a lot of readers, but you've been saying the name, and most likely they have not actually said that name to you. They've said he or she, but they haven't given you a specific name. So, you know, maybe check in on that again, and I think you'll be relieved to find out that the person that you think has been rejecting you for all these years is not the person. Okay, so that's one exciting thing that we have coming up for 2019. So we're going to talk about what happens on that first day that sets the tone. Sorry, I got rid of all the papers because I was done making the video. So what happens on January 1st is Mars enters Aries, okay? He's right at the end of the year. We're wallowing in that Piscean energy. Sheet, the fixed star that's at the very last degree of Pisces, is divine inspiration and cosmic things, you know, just like, wow, flashes and downloads. And it can also be like deep sorrow and suffering. And Mars being with Chiron at that fixed star is a lot of heaviness, and the sun moving up to Saturn is a lot of heaviness. And when we get to January 1st, the sun will be less than 1 degree from Saturn, okay? So we've got Mars moving into his sign of Aries. So that's a lot of like, let's go, let's get this done, let's get this done. And then you've got Saturn, boom, with the sun, okay? And Saturn wants the foundation to be in place and the structure. He wants everything in order. He wants all of the T's crossed and the I's dotted. Saturn is your ascended mastery. Saturn is the master, okay? Yes, he can be the taskmaster, but where you have him in the constellation and the house where you have him in your chart is what you really want to work on, to focus, to bring your legacy, Saturn, with a legacy that you want to build in this lifetime, and your own gifts of ascended mastery. That's what you want to focus on working on, so that you can come into your own ascended mastery on the planet. Okay, so he is with the sun, and he's helping us to, you know, this year will be about building our legacy and things that last, something that's permanent, something that isn't just going to fade away, and also coming into our own authority, using that ambition and drive, Mars and Aries, being the warrior that's bringing in those higher vibrational energies. For the rest of the week then, Uranus is going to be stationary direct beginning January 3rd, and that you'll feel a shift. Now, Uranus has been dipped into Aries in 2010. So whatever house Aries falls into for you in your natal chart, there's been a change there. So for me, it was the sign of my ascendant, and I came into my full awakening when Uranus began his trip through Aries. And for a lot of you too, I know that that's true, because you tell me this on the phone. But yeah, now he's wrapping up that story. So whatever it is that Uranus has been wanting you to become unleashed from, like if you're married to a woman, you're married to a man, and you don't really have a reason, but you're just not satisfied, and you're staying, and you're just like, you know what, universe, I'm fine. I can handle it. Or you think that you're doing this for your children's sake. Your children are your soulmates. They know very well when you're unhappy, and they want you to be happy. How do you know that there isn't a step parent out there that they'd like to fulfill a contract with, that they have things to learn from? And, you know, sometimes in cases of divorce, when there are more people that come into the family, it's actually a happier family. And it's just a bigger family unit. It doesn't mean that the family unit is over. It's just different. So I just encourage you really to, you know, work on those kind of things, and whatever is holding you back. Fear could be the thing that's holding you back. And that can be a lot of that heavy Saturn. It can be fear, okay? but we're moving past that now, and we're unleashing ourselves and the ties that bind us, and where we've got our wings clipped so that we can soar like an eagle. Okay, so we're finishing that up, and Uranus is going to begin to move forward with this new moon energy. He won't enter Taurus again until March. So we've got still the culmination of that story of Uranus and Aries finishing up through March. And then during the new moon, which is a very promising energy, we've got Saturn with the sun and the moon, and then right at the other side of that, we've got Pluto there too. So this is very powerful energy for planting a seed for something lasting and permanent, something that makes you an authority figure, maybe seeing yourself as an authority figure, maybe ditching authority figures because, you know, the truth is that you answer only to yourself. You're not answering to anything outside of yourself. Okay. And, you know, all of those higher vibrational energies are within you. They're aspects of you. You are a part of the energy of the creator. You are carrying the pure unconditional love energy of creation, the creator that you're a spark of. Those energies are all a part of that energy. It's all within you. Okay. So we don't need to keep looking outside ourselves. We can just figure out how to work through, you know, what it takes to work through what we need to do to get to that point in our ascension, our own ascension, that you come to the realization like, oh, okay, you know. And a lot of us prefer always to communicate with them through thought because we know that they're part of us. So we've chosen not to see them outside ourselves. Like I did as a child, I did because it was comforting for me. And I do talk to them outside myself too, just because I like doing that. But yeah, it's really coming into your own ascended mastery, your gifts, what you came to teach, what you've mastered that you can pass on to the next generation. Okay. So we've got also Neptune in Pisces and Jupiter in Sagittarius, both of them in their signs, in their own signs, just like Saturn is in his own sign. Jupiter and Sagittarius are about coming into higher consciousness, going beyond the seen, the known, out into the wild, into the great frontier, into the cosmos. And Neptune in Pisces is about the infinite, going global. Okay, writing that book and seeing it become a movie. Like Metatron said to one of the clients, you know, see yourself on the red carpet. And, you know, realizing that you're infinite, that you can create whatever it is that you would like to create, okay? That leaves a lasting legacy and that shows you the true authority that you have within you and that you can bring that out for everybody else, that they can find that too. And Jupiter is the guru, okay? And this is in relation to the classes that I'm teaching. You know, I don't want to be the guru. I want to teach you that you're a guru because we don't bring the light to the planet, and we don't bring the planet to awakening by there being one leader and then a bunch of little people. And that's not the way it is. We're all the big people. We're all the big leaders, okay? And it's in finding that space that you realize that you're here to teach others how to heal themselves and to come into their own gifts, to be able to communicate with the angels, with the higher vibrational energies from other dimensions and other times and other places, and to see themselves in other timelines and to speak their light language. And you know, the gifts that I got when I was 11 years old, and I asked the Holy Spirit, who is the energy of Metatron, as Metatron is sort of like that network of the higher dimensional beings, as the energy of Metatron feeds into, like, comes through all of the other rays of the rainbow. He encompasses all of that. You can also see him as a being outside yourself. There's nothing wrong with that or anything, but the Holy Spirit is basically like all of them, that network, including our higher selves. When I asked for the gift of tongues when I was 11 years old, that's my light language. That's my original language. And that's the language that I still speak. Now I just call it a different thing. It's the same thing. So yeah, people can be doing that from a lower vibration, but really when you directly ask the Holy Spirit, the energy of pure unconditional love, to give you that gift, he will bring you that gift if that's what you would like. So we've got that Neptune in Pisces squaring Jupiter. It's not perfected, but we're working up to that energy, and for surely you can feel it. This is where we're getting that carried away, or in our own thoughts, and it's not an even keel, so we want to be really careful. Like Sandalphon says, it's our sacred duty to ground ourselves, because we're bringing that light and the codes of the light and all of the pure unconditional love energies that we have in our hearts, that as we become closer and closer and realize that we're part of the creator, and we open our hearts to that energy of pure unconditional love, because that's who you are. When you're grounding yourself, you're bringing that energy into the earth, and it's also helping you to stay focused on the task at hand. Okay, so one of the exercises that was given to me was when you wake up, in order to protect my chi, because I was losing a lot of chi when I was going through all that. Stand up and just take a deep breath. Inhale, close your eyes, inhale through your nose to your root chakra. And once you come to the root chakra and you're exhaling, then you're going to exhale and watch those thick, black, heavy roots growing beneath your feet, going deep into the earth, and then do that again. They told me 10 times when I wake up. I don't know if I've hit 10 yet, because that takes a while. But I do it throughout the day, and it helps a lot to stay grounded. It's really important that we're grounded now, so that we can be focused on the work that we need to do. We're the team of light. We're rah. It's us. That's it. We're the ones who are bringing the work onto the planet. And even if that's in an office, like I have a really close friend who works for the government, and I know that she's there because she's supporting all of them. She's bringing the light to where it needs to be. There's not like a small role and a giant role. We all have big roles to fulfill. And that's why we came here, because we're badasses, and we want to see this turn around. And so that's what we're here doing. And this year, the energies are ripe for that, okay? At the end of Scorpio, we'll find Venus, and she is in an energy, it's called a quincunx. It's a raucous kind of energy, but something happens, and that's with Uranus at the end of Aries. So it's something with a love relationship, maybe a money situation, something to do with being unworthy, and that shifting and changing when Uranus is there. For a lot of you, it will be the news that you're the person you believed to be the twin flame that you think broke your heart, or maybe did, having that healing done, so that you're ready now for the actual person that is your twin flame to come in. I know that I'm talking to a lot of you when I'm saying this, because I'm seeing your faces, and you know who you are in California. But that energy is most likely very similar to who you are waiting for. And so that's why you feel like that. It's not that you're just like me, it's not that we're imagining that. That's true, but it isn't actually that person. So and then we've got, just because of the way that's set up with Venus and Uranus, and there's some other things going on with Sedna and the vertex. I wouldn't say that this is, especially because Uranus falls right into the 7th house, right at where the 7th house, which is partnership, begins. I wouldn't say that this is the energy that maybe you're coming into physical union. Not to say that it's not possible, but it doesn't look so much like it's possible. There's a lot of speaking to an imbalance. All of this, the sun, the moon, Mercury, and Pluto, are all in the 3rd house, which is about mercantile exchange, the internet. The South Node is there as well, and this will be answered for on July 5th of 2020 during the eclipse that we have then. So this is a new moon solar eclipse, if I didn't mention. And it takes place Universal Time, London time, 1:28 a.m. That's a 1. That's Mars coming into Aries. Go. Do it. Take the step. because it's going to be magnificent. When you've got all of this transformation energy, ascended mastery, it's all clumped in there with where you're planting this seed. It's phenomenal and it's lasting. And it's just now a matter of us laying that foundation and coming into the higher vibration, because that's where we're headed with these energies. So this is also conjunct the fixed star Vega. And Vega, I was going to read, where did I put my glasses? Not going to use my glasses. So Vega is a fixed star in the constellation of Lyra. And she relates to, I relate her because of what her name is and because she's blue. I relate her to Mother Mary. And she's conjunct my midheaven, so I love it that Vega is there for me, looking over my chart. The fixed star Vega is one of the brightest stars in the heavens. It is definitely of the nature of Venus. In classical times, it was said to be particularly good omen when Vega was with the sun. In natal charts, it indicates a poetical and harmonious nature, depending on what it's closest to. Arabic for the falling eagle, Vega is the principal star in the constellation Lyra. The brightest fixed star of the northern sky has a Venus nature with the blend of Neptune and Mercury. So that's about using the psychic gifts, hearing from them, speaking their words, writing what it is that they're telling you. The Babylonians called Vega the star of the Queen of Life. And that's why Mary, Queen of Angels, that's why it also just because I feel the energy of Vega. So Vega gives artistic talents for music and acting, but it's also great for making a good living, okay? So this is also, by the way, it's the Astrology King. I look up a lot of fixed stars on his website. I wanted to mention that. And then the other fixed star that it's wedged between these fixed stars, Manubrium. Manubrium, it means the handle. It comes from sketches of the Archer. It's actually part of the constellation of Sagittarius with the Archer. It's just that because in Western astrology, we've moved that because of the tilt of the Earth. So, it's in Capricorn, but it's part of the constellation of Sagittarius, if you can, It is a fortunate and fruitful constellation indicating events pertaining to kings or a large portion of mankind. Ptolemy states, the stars at the point of the arrow have an effect like that of Mars and the moon. Those on the bow and at the grip of the hand like that of Jupiter and Mars. The cluster in the forehead is like that of the sun and Mars. Anyway, so this is also a very fortunate star, okay? It can, wait, hang on one second. Yeah, yellow and green, sanguine green. So this is like a blue, yellow, green mixture energy. So it's healing, it's joy, and it's peace. Okay, this is awesome. Now, when this is answered on July 5th of 2020, with an eclipse that we have coming there, then that will be the day that Jupiter meets Pluto. And the sun will be in Cancer with the sun of the United States. So I'm not saying that this is going to play out particularly for the United States, because I don't think that's true. But because it's happening in the third house, it looks like, like Metatron said, we're building up to the largest financial crisis that the world has ever seen. It's possible that it happens sometime around that July 5th, 2020. It's possible. Saturn meets up with Pluto before that. So Saturn's still in that play that's happening. And this is July 5th, 2020 that I'm talking about. So whatever you seed now, just like I told you that story about what started with me with that new moon in Gemini in 2017, when Amanda Ellis will tell you I was in a full-blown healing crisis. Neither one of us knew what the heck was going on because I wasn't meant to know until now. But anyway, that whatever you seed, like I seeded that for myself at the new moon, whatever you seed now, expect to see some results. Okay. So, put the effort in, because Saturn wants you to not necessarily work hard like he's the taskmaster, but there has to be effort put into the physical. We can't just be like, okay, angels, bring me my people. You know, I used to do that. But they were like, well, you probably should get out there a little bit more so that they can find you. Not my people, but you know what I'm saying? Like the people that, because I would see myself up there, you know, teaching classes and stuff. So I want to get into the classes too, because that's going to start at the end of February. And I'll be doing that with Metatron and a lot of the higher vibrational energies. Those classes will be on Zoom. I'm going to cap them at 50, okay? Because we're going to be getting into deep stuff, and I'm going to need to be doing a lot of one-on-one stuff with people. And I feel like if we get more than 50 people, it's going to be too many to accommodate. And then Patreon, I'm making the classes affordable, and Patreon's going to be very affordable as well. That's where I'm going to share a lot of the twin flame teachings. You know, they had told me that, I think I don't even know because I made 2 videos now. But you know, about coming into twin flame leadership, and I fought that. I kept saying, like, I don't care what I'm doing. I'm not doing anything in relation to twin flames. But because my own stuff was but that's how I got the material from my book. So that's why that happens. But yeah. So anyway, you guys, it was, I had just a crazy ride. Thanks for being with me on it. It helped me making videos and doing sessions. Like, I love doing that because it got me out of the stuff that was going on. Metatron told me at the end of 2017, you're going to be going through a challenging period. And he wasn't lying. And when Metatron says that to you without you asking, when he just comes to you with something like that, hold on to something because it's coming. So now we're going to concentrate on our breathing techniques in order to, you know, conserve our chi. The only way that you show yourself that you love yourself is how you treat yourself. When you're constantly pampering yourself and saying kind things to yourself in the mirror, telling yourself sweet things when you go to sleep at night about what you appreciate about yourself, about how beautiful you are, you can't be sad. You can't be depressed, because when you're giving yourself enough attention, you're not lacking anything. And, you know, and there's no more looking outside ourselves for that or searching for this partner to fulfill it, because that's not, if, you know, we come together with the person that we're meant for at the wrong time, then there's just that burst and then it just fizzles away. So if that's happened to you up to this point with someone, that was most likely not your person, okay? Or you wouldn't be watching this video. But that was showing you what could happen and what would happen if you would come together with the person back then. And so now you're really doing the healing work for that person. What's going on between you and the person who you thought was your twin flame is really vital. Okay, is what I'm being told. Vital to do that healing work, to heal that wound so that you're ready when the person actually does show up, okay? And then also making sure that we don't have an aspect of ego that's in fear of finding out the higher teachings, because there's going to be a lot of those coming from me for sure. I'm not going to be small anymore. I'm done with that story. I'm so past that story and caught up in my own nonsense. I'm done with that too. So, yeah, so I'm going to do a lot of the channelings, which I have been, you know, I haven't been very brave, let's say. I haven't been so courageous about that. But everything happens when it's meant to. I've been doing them more one-on-one. My classes also I'll introduce you to other teachers. I've got a friend who is a doctor. He is a medical doctor and a holistic medicine doctor. And he's being given new sacred symbols that we're going to use during the ascension. He'll be teaching a class on that. His lovely wife, who has written and published books relating to how to raise children, these children with these higher vibrations that we're all, you know, dealing with as our own children. It'll be, you know, how to raise them in the way that they're ready to be raised and how to let them go when it's time. And for a lot of us, it's about 11 years old that they're ready to go. And so, of course, we are always giving them guidance, but they did ask us to be their mother, to be their father, because they knew that we were strong enough to let them have their own journey too. So, and they've chosen to take on a lot of stuff, a lot of them, because that's how powerful they are. And they're, you know, our soulmates, and we have enough respect for them that we're going to let them do this themselves. And, you know, if you have a gift, like say that you're an artist, but you see things, signs and wonders in the sky all the time, and those are put there specifically for you. And maybe expanding that, maybe buying a nice camera and putting those somewhere where you could sell them and bring that gift that the sky brought to you that day to the rest of us. You know, sharing things that way. What is it that you're passionate about? What do you love? You know, find what it is that you love to do. Don't let anything stand between you and living out your passion. That's why you came here. They're not going to tell you what it is. They'll leave breadcrumbs and they'll lead you to it if you ask them to, like they did with me with astrology. But, you know, this is when we're coming up to that. And then on the 6th, when that new moon comes, all of the planets are direct, okay? No holds barred is what he's saying. Go, do it. You know, it's about coming into our own authority and realizing like, wait, I've been looking for answers and I had the answers all along, you know, and then putting those ideas, implementing those ideas in the physical. That's with Saturn too. And that's the transformation, that Pluto energy that we have too. So we've got green and yellow and blue guiding us through this new moon energy, and the next leg of our journey, 2019, is going to be amazing. And I'm not sure that it's going to be so like you know, coddling, but it's going to be amazing. I know that. So anyway, guys, I'm going to start the Patreon channel next time I make a video, which I'm going to do weekly now. I will put up the information for the Patreon channel when I'm going to be channeling, you know, Jesus and Mary Magdalene for the first teachings for the twin flames. And then we'll just build from there and see what happens. And then end of February, I'll start the classes. So send me an email, though, if you're interested in that, because I'd like to have some idea of, you know, how I'm going to do this with Zoom, because we've been having technical difficulties with them, too. Anyway, everybody, Happy New Year and happy 2019. I'm so glad that you're all with me for this, and I'm with you for this, and I'm excited to see what's going to unfold for all of us. All right, everybody, take care.